Introducing the Lumenis Light Shear Duet Laser Hair Removal Device, the most exciting innovation in laser hair removal since the original Light Shear first revolutionized the industry. The Light Shear Duet features two hair removal systems on one versatile platform, enabling permanent hair reduction anywhere on the body. This video is intended as a general overview and to serve as refresher training. It is not intended as a substitute for hands-on training by a qualified professional or for reading and understanding the Light Shear Duet Operator Manual. The Light Shear Duet received FDA clearance in April 2006 for hair removal and permanent hair reduction for Fitzpatrick skin types 1 through 6, including tanned skin. It is also cleared for the secondary procedures of benign vascular lesions, leg veins, pseudofolliculitis barbae, and benign pigmented lesions. The Light Shear Duet features two hair removal systems on one platform. The new Light Shear high-speed handpiece featuring a large 22 by 35 mm squared spot size, and the Light Shear ET handpiece featuring a 9 by 9 mm squared spot size, both incorporating the 800 nanometer diode wavelength laser. All persons operating the Light Shear Duet laser system or in the vicinity of the laser must be aware of the potential hazards. The Light Shear Duet system is classified as a Class 4 laser by the Center for Devices and Radiological Health and as a Class 4 laser by the European Laser Safety Standard EN 60825-1. For more information, refer to Laser Institute of America at 1-800-34-LASER. That's 1-800-34-LASER. For current American National Standards Institute and Occupational Safety and Health Administration standards. The Light Shear Duet system is to be operated in an enclosed room with protective eyewear for all persons, including the patient, whenever the main power and key switch are turned on. The protective eyewear must have an optical density of 5 or greater at a wavelength of 790 to 830 nanometers. Contact your local service representative for additional information. For maximum safety, opaque or metal goggles must be worn by the patient for all facial treatments. Do not treat eyebrows, eyelashes, or other areas within the bony area surrounding the orbit. Compliance with ANSI Z 136.3 and EN 60825-1 requires that laser safety signs be posted at all entrances whenever the laser is in use. Do not operate the laser in the presence of flammable liquids, such as alcohol or acetone, or flammable gases, such as oxygen or ether. Hair growth has 3 phases: anagen, or active, catagen, or transitional, telogen, or resting. The laser is best absorbed when the hair follicle is in the active growth phase. Based on the theory of selective photothermolysis, the target chromophore for an 800 nanometer diode laser is melanin, which is present in the hair shaft and the upper third of the follicular epithelium. Each laser pulse generates heat in the hair shaft, which is diffused to the follicular epithelium, creating the desired damage to the hair follicle. For lighter skin types, the melanin content is minimal, thus the absorption of laser energy in the skin is minimal, and greater absorption is experienced by the melanin in the hair to its damage threshold. For darker skin types, the melanin content increases, thus the absorption of the laser energy in the skin increases, and temperatures can reach critical levels before the hair is damaged. For these darker skin types, a pulsing technique, burst mode, is utilized where the laser produces the energy in bursts. Though there is higher absorption of the laser energy in the skin due to its melanin content, it is allowed to cool between pulses, and since the thermal relaxation time of the hair is longer than that of the skin, the hair retains most of the heat. As subsequent pulses are delivered, the hair temperature builds higher, but as before, the skin is allowed to cool, and ultimately a pulse is delivered where a hair kill temperature is achieved, but the skin remains undamaged. Hair reduction is considered permanent when a significant amount of the treated hair does not return for longer than the complete growth cycle. The ET handpiece delivers up to 100 joules per centimeter squared with 5 to 400 millisecond pulse durations and contact cooling. Contact cooling with the chill tip cools the epidermis before, during, and after each laser pulse. The chill tip sapphire window, in direct contact with the skin, also reduces internal reflection of backscatter light. Compression of the skin with the chill tip temporarily displaces oxyhemoglobin, a chromophore that competes with melanin, and flattens the epidermis, which brings the hair roots closer to the surface. Combined, these effects protect the epidermis and enable more light to be absorbed by the hair follicle and root. Melanin in the hair follicle and root is heated to the point of thermal damage, which reduces the ability to regrow. The light shear high-speed handpiece employs fully integrated vacuum assist technology to gently lift skin into the treatment aperture prior to applying laser energy to deliver energy more efficiently and achieve clinical results with speed and comfort. The vacuum gently draws the skin into the handpiece. The skin senses the vacuum pressure instead of the laser pulse. The skin is stretched thin. Hair is pulled closer to the energy source. Melanocyte density in the skin is temporarily reduced as the skin is stretched. Consequently, less energy is absorbed by the epidermis. Vacuum pressure temporarily constricts vessels and blanches tissue. Less energy is absorbed by oxyhemoglobin. With less energy lost to competing chromophores, more photons are able to reach the desired target, melanin in hair. Follicular melanin absorbs the laser energy. Heat builds up and damages the hair follicle and its ability to regrow. The light shear duet system is based on the state-of-the-art diode laser technology, offering many advantages, including optimal 800 nanometer wavelength, excellent pulse characteristics, and unique integrated cooling in a lightweight and compact instrument. The HS handpiece features an open tip with integrated vacuum assist technology. The vacuum gently draws the patient's skin into the handpiece before the laser pulse is applied and releases the skin upon delivery of the laser pulse. Combining a larger aperture with vacuum assist technology affords the customer faster treatments by covering a larger area with each laser pulse. The HS handpiece utilizes a disposable insert which must be replaced with each patient or during patient treatment if the tip becomes dirty or if the internal filters become clogged. The ET handpiece features a chilled sapphire tip that is pressed against the patient's skin during treatment and provides contact cooling to the patient's skin. By conductively cooling the skin, the chilled tip increases the tolerated fluence, provides partial anesthesia, and reduces temperature rise in the melanin-rich epidermis. Handpiece calibration is required upon system startup. Calibration is also recommended prior to each treatment. On the startup screen, select the handpiece that you intend to calibrate. Follow the steps indicated on the control screen. When calibrating the HS handpiece, ensure a clean disposable insert is attached to the handpiece. Caution: while operating the light shear system, never look directly into the laser aperture at the distal end of the handpiece, even if you are wearing laser safety glasses. Serious eye injury or blindness could result. Remove the handpiece from the holster and then carefully reinsert the handpiece into the holster. It is important to remove and insert the light shear HS handpiece perpendicular to the holster opening. This will avoid dislodging the holster itself. Ensure the light shear HS handpiece is properly seated prior to calibration so that the laser pulse is directed at the calibration window and not at an angle. This will improve the accuracy of calibration and avoid damage to the port. Press the Enable button. Then press and hold the handpiece trigger while the handpiece remains in the holster until the calibration process is complete. Following HS and ET handpiece calibration, the treatment screen is displayed and either handpiece can be utilized without recalibrating. It is possible to switch between the ET and the HS handpieces by simply lifting the desired handpiece out of the cradle, or depressing the handpiece icon on the main screen. First, select the Utility button on the main screen. Then select the System Operating Tools button on the Utility menu. Select the Vacuum Purge button on the System Tools screen. Then simply follow the instructions on each screen until the vacuum purge process is complete. The Light Shear Duet displays a unique treatment screen according to the handpiece you select. In the pulse counter field, the upper number displays the number of pulses delivered in the current session by the currently selected handpiece. The lower number displays the total number of pulses delivered by the selected handpiece. The tip counter registers the number of shots remaining before the Light Shear Duet suspends treatment and prompts the operator to inspect the handpiece tip. Clean the ET Sapphire tip or replace the HS disposable tip if necessary. The ET handpiece tip counter will produce a cleaning reminder message after 1,000 pulses. The HS handpiece tip counter will produce a cleaning reminder message after 500 pulses. However, each handpiece tip or insert should be observed and cleaned frequently throughout treatment to verify patient safety and prevent equipment damage. The number of pulses is also known as pulse stacking. You can select to deliver 1, 2, or 3 laser shots for each press of the trigger. Each pulse will deliver the full fluence selected in joules per centimeter squared. It is recommended beginning with 1 pulse. This will shorten treatment time and increase comfort. The trigger needs to be held until all indicated pulses have been emitted. The vacuum levels are high, 18 inches of mercury, medium, 12 inches of mercury, most commonly used, and low, 8 inches of mercury. Pulse durations are 30 milliseconds, custom, 100 milliseconds, and 400 milliseconds. The 30 millisecond pulse duration is limited to a fluence up to 6 joules per centimeter squared. The custom pulse duration is commonly used and is optimized between 30 and 70 milliseconds depending on the fluence selected. The actual pulse duration will be indicated at the bottom of the OptiPulse column. 100 millisecond and 400 millisecond pulse widths are typically used on tanned skin and darker skin types. The range of fluence is limited to 4.5 to 6 joules per centimeter squared when selecting the 30 millisecond pulse duration. Custom, 100 millisecond and 400 millisecond pulse durations have a range of fluence from 4.5 to 12 joules per centimeter squared. Skin types 1 to 3 usually require 9 joules per centimeter squared and above to produce permanent hair reduction. With the handpiece enabled and the trigger held in the depressed mode, the rate at which pulses repeat can be adjusted from fast at 1 to 3 Hz to medium 0.5 to 1.0 Hz to slow, which is 0.5 Hz. The actual rate is determined by the pulse duration and fluence and is displayed at the bottom of the rate column. Op.Pulse has 4 user-selected modes. In auto mode, the system selects the pulse width allowance at a given fluence. The pulse width is approximately 1/2 the fluence. With 30 millisecond, 100 millisecond, and 400 millisecond, the pulse widths are fixed. Pulse durations are chosen to safely treat specific clinical indications. When using the LightShear ET handpiece, the auto pulse width is typically used for shallow hair in lighter skin types. 30 millisecond treats deeper and/or dense hair growth and is chosen for slightly darker skin types. 100 millisecond and 400 millisecond are the pulse durations of choice for tanned-skinned and darkest skin types. The fluence can be selected numerically or by touching the bar on the treatment screen. The highest tolerable fluence will provide the greatest efficacy. Auto, 30 millisecond and 100 millisecond will allow up to 60 joules per centimeter squared. 400 millisecond pulse duration will allow up to 100 joules per centimeter squared. The cooling message will appear on the screen when turned on, as well as during the 30 seconds it takes to cool to operating temperature. The system will default to the chill tip. The chill tip can be turned off manually by depressing the snowflake icon. However, the chill tip should remain on at all times when performing laser hair removal with the LightShear ET handpiece. Lumenis has preloaded physician-recommended presets, which can be accessed by depressing the stethoscope, the clinical indication screen icon. Select the appropriate option for each of the 3 categories. Number 1. Skin type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Number 2. Hair color red, light brown, dark brown, or black. And number 3, hair texture, fine, coarse, or dense. Once the clinical indication selections are made, the Lumenis preset treatment parameters will appear in the lower right-hand corner. The Lumenis L icon will be illuminated. Note: hair with less pigment is a known treatment challenge, and results achieved may be less than optimal. The operator can also save parameters to their own preferred settings, 1 per combination of the 3 previous selections: skin type, hair color, hair texture. Once the parameters are manually adjusted on the control screen, the Save button is depressed, saving the parameters. Saved parameters can be loaded by depressing the User Load icon. The physician should conduct a patient consultation prior to treatment and provide detailed information on the nature of treatment options, risks, benefits, possible complications, and anticipated outcome. It is mandatory to perform test spots on every patient before treatment, following the protocols in the operator manual. For untanned skin types 1 through 4, wait approximately 30 minutes after the test spot to observe tissue reaction. For skin types 5 to 6, wait at least 48 to 72 hours after the test spot to observe tissue reaction. Then adjust as needed. Use added caution in cases of recent exposure to UV light and do not treat patients with an artificial tan. Pre-treatment for both the HS and ET handpieces require that the patient be shaved to the skin surface, all traces of hair and debris are removed, and the skin surface cleaned and dried. Verify the chill tip is activated by physically touching the chill tip. Apply a thin layer of gel to the area to be treated to facilitate chill tip movement across skin and improve contact cooling. Ensure the chill tip is in contact with the skin prior to laser emission. Position handpiece for treatment. Select Ready mode on the laser touchscreen. To begin the laser treatment, press the handpiece Enable button. This will enable the trigger to be depressed to fire the laser. Pressing and releasing the trigger will result in a single pulse being fired. The laser may be operated in a repetitively pulsed mode by continuously holding down the handpiece trigger. Moderate pressure should be applied to have good contact while using a bounce and glide movement along the skin surface. Do not remove laser tip from the skin surface when using this technique. The chill tip must be cleaned often. This could be from every couple of pulses to one full run, depending on the amount of hair extrusion. Clean more frequently in areas of high hair density. Cleaning should be performed with gauze pads moistened with distilled water or a mild alcohol solution to remove any debris or char. Patients should be treated with test spots and assessed for side effects before a full treatment is performed. Exercise caution when treating Fitzpatrick skin types 5 and 6. Wait at least 48 to 72 hours after performing the test spots to observe tissue reaction, and then adjust parameters as needed. Use added caution for any skin type exposed to sun or UV light, and do not treat patients with an artificial tan on skin. Treatments should only be performed on tanned skin after the recommended test spot protocol has been employed to verify the appropriate parameter settings prior to treatment. It is recommended that patients shave the treatment area before treatment. Clinicians should shave only remaining hair missed by the patient and clean the treatment area to remove any pieces of hair or other debris. Do not apply treatment gel when using the HS handpiece. Install a new disposable insert prior to treating the patient. Push the new insert into the handpiece using a gloved palm of the hand until seated. This is to prevent smudges on the tip insert. When you are ready to conduct the treatment and the desired treatment parameters are chosen, press the Ready icon. The system indicators will display the progression of transition from standby to ready mode. The system will automatically switch from ready to standby mode if it remains idle for more than 5 minutes. Depress the Enable button on the handle of the HS handpiece to activate the laser. Position the handpiece for treatment, assuring full contact to the skin on all edges of the handpiece tip. If you are treating an area that has limited skin tissue, you may need to manipulate the tissue and squeeze or push it towards the handpiece. Press the handpiece trigger to fire the laser. You'll need to hold the trigger while the device applies vacuum, at which time the laser output will occur. A red flash and tone will indicate the laser has fired. The vacuum will then be released. If the operator lifts off the patient's skin surface prior to the vacuum fully releasing, an error message could appear stating tip error. To avoid this, wait until the vacuum is released before moving the handpiece to the next area being treated. The treatment area of the handpiece is 22 by 35 millimeters squared, which is smaller than the footprint of the handpiece. Therefore, to assure complete coverage, it is necessary to overlap approximately 30% side to side and 40% end to end. The pick-and-place technique should be used moving from area to area, providing total coverage by overlapping the treatment area. Caution: application of energy to a disposable insert containing debris, particles, or fingerprints may cause absorption of light and overheating, and/or burning of the disposable insert, which can compromise treatment quality and damage the high-speed handpiece. While the system is off, inspect the handpiece to ensure that the diode window is clean and free of debris. If the diode window is not clean, use lint-free gauze moistened with alcohol solution to clean the diode window. Then use dry gauze to wipe it clean and remove any fingerprints, stray hairs, or debris. If the diode window cannot be cleaned, do not use the HS handpiece and call customer service for further instructions. After the diode window has been properly cleaned, insert a new and clean disposable insert with a gloved hand to avoid creating fingerprints or contamination. During treatment, observe the disposable insert frequently for debris or damage, using dry gauze to wipe away any contamination. Use alcohol-moistened gauze to clean the disposable insert if dry gauze alone does not remove contamination, if any discoloration or debris is observed in the disposable insert. Immediately insert a new and clean disposable tip when the disposable insert cannot be completely cleaned with alcohol, if smoke is visible after firing the laser, or if a white flash is viewed during treatment. Caution: when removing the disposable insert with glass window after firing the laser, use the outer edge or lip and do not touch the backside that faces the diode window. The insert bottom backside will get very hot after firing laser. Following each treatment, the disposable insert must be removed, and a new and clean insert should be inserted into the handpiece and placed in the system holster.